All right. We just might get fired. We are back. Season 2, The Teachers Lounge, episode 5. And we got a really, really good episode, I think, prepared for y'all tonight. I got my man, Mr. McMillan. Got my man, Mr. McBrown. My man, Mr. Brown, riding with us as always.
Mr. McBrown.
I don't know. I kind of like the McBrown be, McBrown. real Irish African out here.
My bad, Mr. McBrown. Right now. All right. So, we are still suffering through this COVID type thing right now where here in our state of Texas, things are starting to open back up, which has, as we discussed, is really been doing great for our stock that we've been purchasing on the low. It's been going up, made a few dollars this week. Only a few dollars. Hey, IRS people, alphabet people, it's not a lot, nothing, no taxes. But
minimal gains, minimal.
Teaching from home during COVID. My favorite part of it has been no referrals. Who wants to tackle what it's been like teaching from home during this COVID?
It's wonderful. Like you said, no referrals. Look, again, and then I tell my kids when they walk in, the first day of school, they usually walk into the Wakanda thing. This is our kingdom, and we only bring in outside forces when we have to and when we need to. And the have to are evaluations and observations. When we need to is when you get out of line, and if my fellow subjects don't take care of it, then I might have to bring in an outside force to take care of you. I like to handle everything in-house. Drives my administration crazy. I'm talking about everything. Kids talking about boxing in my class. We had a situation, essentially, do you remember when the young man went to the sock Kimball game and was shooting at Ellis Fieldhouse?
Yep. I
had 2 students in the same class that were on the opposite sides of that disagreement. Essentially, once he was caught and it came up and someone was like, what kind of time is he looking at? I was like, oh, he discharged a firearm in essentially a public school. Oh, he gone. I said, oh, and he hit somebody? Oh, and a security guard? And then I looked, I was like, oh, it wasn't a security guard. It was an off-duty police officer. Oh, yeah, that's 10 right there. Discharging a firearm is 2 to 5, and then you hit a public servant. That's 10, 15 out of there easy. So one dude was like, wait, he better be gone because if not, me and my boys gonna get him. Other dude was like, that's my boy, you ain't gonna do that. And it was finna go down in class. I said, I'm not gonna do that. I said, but let's just be real honest with it. Your partner dumb for discharging a firearm, well, they was jumping them. Okay, why your boys was jumping them? Well, it was, I'm like, wait, so you telling me your boys some punks? Because if it was one-on-one, it should have been one-on-one and that was it. Why take 5 of them? So you know what? Maybe he had to draw out on them. I said, so how about this? Your partner in the hospital probably finna die, and your partner finna go to jail for a good portion of his life. And y'all sitting in here trying to fight when if either of y'all wasn't punks and told one of your partners to not be a punk, everyone would be alive and everybody still be in school today. So instead of being mad at each other, be mad at yourself. That is how we handle things in-house. Now, I definitely got an email about that.
That way.
Because that was something you should have sent to the counselor, the one that we don't have. Our counselor walked out the second day of school. What counselor? Well, we had a temp counselor. That man ain't here for that. He ain't here for that. So, but it was something that as a Black man, coming from the neighborhood I'm from, living and dealing with the people I deal with and moving in the circles that I move in, I understand the frustrations of these young Black men. They got partners hurt or in jail and they don't know how to verbalize it and it just comes out as anger. I understand that, but let's be honest. Let's drill down and put a microscope on it. You want to be honest? If y'all were a better community amongst yourselves, box it out or talk and leave. It's it. Nobody's got to shoot nothing. Nobody's got, first of all, it sounds like it wasn't even really worth fighting for. Y'all talking about some chick that's going to be with some dude next week in a whole nother clique. You in jail forever, your partner dead. Cool, over some girl. That's
usually
cute.
What it is.
It's cute,
usually what it is.
But then again, whole wars were fighting over, Helen of Troy popped off a whole war between 2 countries. So I guess I'll be quiet. Maybe it's just us. Maybe it ain't just us. But back to the original question. Not having to deal with these little things in my ecosystem of a classroom is great. But that is also, be honest, that's like the third best part of the job. It sucks because then we don't get paid for that. But as Black men, we're here to have that moment. Because what if I was a white teacher? How would that have gone? Say I'm a white male teacher. What he gonna do? Straight to the office, right?
Great.
What you gonna do? She gonna tell me be quiet. Y'all shut up. Y'all ain't finna do nothing. You see what I'm saying? So me being there gave the opportunity, and I seen both those young men grow. They didn't want to hear it at that time, and they was mad. One of them didn't talk to me for like 2 weeks. I'm like, bro, I don't care if you talk to me. I control the grades, bro. I don't care.
That go well with women too. I ain't talking to you for 2 weeks. Thank you, God.
Oh, come here, give me a hug. Appreciate you. How'd you know that's what I wanted? You give the best gifts. You give the best gifts. How'd you know that's what I want? That's exactly what I want.
That's a win. All right, Mr. McMillan, teacher from home during COVID, man. You know, no referrals. What is it?
No, it was no referrals. It was no talking during the class. No talking during the I do's. Okay, it was none of that. It was no disrespect. I didn't have to hear no cussing. I didn't have to hear nothing. I didn't have to do nothing. But I just feel like, I honestly felt like I wasn't doing my job. I don't feel like I was doing my job. I feel like I was just collecting the check.
Oh, you one of them dudes.
I'm just saying.
We don't want to get fired here. It sounds like you want to get. Why would you say that?
Just being honest. I'm just being honest.
Was you trying?
I just want to be honest.
Did you wake up every day and like do math stuff with the kids?
I woke up every day. I put a message on Google Classroom saying I'm available from 9 to 12 and 1 to 4. I'm on Zoom. The Zoom was open. And nobody chimed in.
Wait.
That's because they don't
so
like
you
your
did your
beard,
job.
bro. They
so
just
you show.
They don't like your
my
beard,
job,
bro. That's all it was.
So you woke up. You put available times, and really, when you only had to be available for 2 hours a day, you took a 1 hour lunch and was available for about 7 hours. And you saying you didn't do your job because the kids didn't log in?
Man, the district wasn't ready.
Mr. Milledge, you're an English teacher, right? What party in that sentence is the issue? There's two nouns in there. Which one of them is the problem in the sentence? Because it sounds like one's working and the other one didn't show up.
I didn't see any issues with that sentence.
I'm trying to figure out if McMillan is the party that didn't show up, or if it was the other party that didn't show up. Because it sounds like in that sentence he showed up for work. He did his job and
that verb was satisfied in that sentence.
Okay,
action was satisfied.
Okay.
I did. It was.
You did your job, baby.
Man, I loved waking up later. Love that. I love it.
Don't commute.
I put the work online. They did it. Some more. It was like half. A little bit over half that did it.
The thing is, you look good right now. You know, you look good. Your beard not so much, but you look good. If this would have been a normal school year, bro, we'd be looking like the presidents at the end of their 4-year term right now, bro.
Yes.
Your skin is glowing, bro.
You got good light over there. I need to get some whatever lighting you got. I need to get some of that. So
that's all the fruit.
So we got the beards, right? Like, and it's like nice and full, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I need to hit it with a little bit of taming, but it's nice and full right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the first time I've actually let mine kind of grow a little bit. And
do it get patchy from the stress?
In season one, you can kind of see it was a little fuller than this, but I kept trying to trim it because I just didn't think I would look right. But I made a concoction, man, that really been good. Because if y'all been knowing me a while, I've never had this much.
You've been
baby
face.
The concoction has really worked, and so I'm gonna try not to trim it and see what happens this time. But teaching from home during COVID, y'all hit it. My skin looks good. Let me get closer in there. I don't have any patches. I had it trimmed lower, so that's why this is growing back. And,
I got one patch right now.
You know, I don't really
this side straight though.
You know? I don't have any patches, man. No real bags under my eyes, man. I don't feel like I didn't do my job because I had Zoom parties. I had conferences one-on-one. I submitted assignments. I made videos to go with those assignments.
Made videos.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I did
Low-key became a YouTuber.
Yeah, you did. Became a YouTube sensation, you know. So I did everything that I was supposed to do. And I did it a little further beyond because I'm usually the one that, hey, after 5 o'clock, don't talk to me, you know. But during this time, I had more kids doing work in the evenings, like around 8 to 10 o'clock p.m.
Yes, sir.
So I started to make myself available to answer little short questions around that time. So I earned my paycheck. You know, I made myself available far beyond 8 to 5 each day. I did enjoy not having to write a referral. The kids who wanted to do the work did the work. The kids who did not, their parents had to deal with them, which is what it should be anyway. You know, govern yourself accordingly. In middle school, you are old enough to know what you need to be doing, so do it. You know, so the parents dealt with the kids who didn't do the work, and they got those emails about, hey, your kid had summer school, and that's when they called us. Well, now my phone is off, so I don't know. You know, my phone was turned off. It's been off since school been out, so just go to summer school and call me after summer school's over, because I gave plenty of opportunity to get work done. So teaching from home during COVID has been awesome, man. I mean,
Hey,
what's up?
They still turning in work.
No way.
Yeah,
no,
I'm still getting
way.
emails. I just don't care.
Man.
You know, I have high schoolers, and like you said, you're young adults. And I told my principal, I was like, I call parents the first semester. With my freshmen, it's just to get you acclimated. But by the time because you're taking a college class with me, I tell my freshmen, you're a sophomore after Christmas.
Yeah.
Treating you like one.
Yeah, I tell my kids that too. Like when you in the first semester, when I was doing elementary and fourth grade, the first semester was fourth grade, 4.0. But after the break, it was 4.5. And then when we got to like the middle of the second semester, now you're in grade 4.75. And I was petty. When they turned in the assignments, it had to have their name, the date, the section, like whatever section class it was, and the grade, 4.5. And when they turned it in without it, bro, I give it back. Mr. Milledge. Like, yeah, well, I really want you to get that mind frame. But let's keep moving. Is it time to start looking at other careers? And we discussed this a little bit before off camera, you know, unplugged a little bit. But I really want to know from y'all, you know, is it time for us to consider something else simply because it's going to be so much online that, okay, you got this one teacher that has 20 kids. Out of that 20, only 17 really do work. Only 15 really care. So what if you say, okay, well, I'm going to take your 20, Mr. Brown, and I'm going to take 20 from Mr. McMillan and just give a class of 40 to one teacher, since it's all online anyway, you know? Man. So they, you know what I'm saying? It would essentially save the district money by cutting some teachers, when I truly think they should cut from up top, because the money they make pays for who knows how many teachers' salary. Exactly. You know, so instead of cutting from the bottom up, cut from the top down, you know, but, you know, that's not how America works, you know. So, you know, I want to know, is it time for us to consider another career with that in mind? And what would you do in your second career if this was done? McMillan, what would you do?
Man, I really don't want to, but I learned my last year of college to not don't ever just depend on one income. School was teaching, not school, but teaching. Teaching is gonna be my base whenever. That's what I am. I know my lane. I teach. I do it well. Yeah, that's it. The vehicle might change. The vehicle right now is school teaching, math teaching. The vehicle might change, but teaching is what I'm gonna do. But in my free time, why the summers are so important, I work on other streams of income. I always work on other streams of income. My goal is to have at least 7, because I learned that the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. So I plan on having a different stream every year. I mean, plan on learning a different stream every year, every summer. So I guess that's my answer to that. If I can't get it teaching in school, I might get it by tutoring. I might have to teach at a community college. I might start teaching finance. I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna continue to teach, even if I'm not at school. Right now, I think I'm working on the stock market, like y'all said. That ain't gonna pop off until later. That's gonna be one stream. I'm gonna learn.
Get in now. It's low. It's going up. Get in now. You should have got in 2 weeks ago.
Bro, you
told me this 2 weeks ago. I'll be like, bro, jump in.
I'm already in there. I was already in there. I already had started, but I'm not adding nothing to it. I gotta pay off. We gotta pay off that debt first. That debt gotta go. I gotta get that done first.
I definitely understand that. All right. I'm gonna ask myself this question. Is it time to start looking at other careers since online may cut teacher positions? And what else would I do? Well, I'm already a man of many hats, you know. I think about my restaurant like all the time because food was one of those essential items during COVID. So my drive-through still would have been booming, I think, you know. Just for anybody out there, I mean, I cleaned up in Denton. I quit my little call center job and I did just fine.
No lie.
I did just fine. So I think about my restaurant for one. As much as I can easily say photography, because I still do it. I just had a shoot recently, actually. It was different because it's, you know, of the distance, but it still went pretty good. I can easily say photography, but I like how my photography is not a high stakes type thing. It's stress free that way. So I don't want to say that would be my other source of income, but it could be if I wanted to, because it just, you know, it does things here and there. But is it time for another career? For me personally, I do think it's time to start looking. I said I was only going to teach about 10 years. And, you know, here we are coming on year 4. And I want to make sure that my restaurant is substantial enough to hold me. Not before I leave teaching, though. I want it to already be up and running so that when I walk away from teaching, I don't have to go back and still sub or something like that, you know, to make up that difference. So I do think for me, it's time to start getting serious about what my next move will be, because this online transition, it is going to require some things that I just really don't feel may be necessary. Because just like when we was talking, you know, unplugged before the show, you know, talking about some issues and some things that need to happen, I don't know if the district or the education system cares enough to make those changes. And I would be okay with being a tutor on the side like Mr. McMillan, or going to a community college where the kids need to be there, you know, to get to where they're going, or they are paying to be there in some sort, so they take it a little more serious in that manner. So I would still be teaching in some sort of way as well, because I never really started it for the money. It was always just the seed, you know, like you said, Mr. McMillan. It was the money that paid for my other endeavors. You know, they go into those 7 streams to get them off the ground. But yeah, man, photography, my restaurant. I got some other business ideas that we can talk about unplugged offline that I've been praying on to see what I need to do next, because I have had this time to be at home during COVID to really think and plan and figure out my next move. Like a few weeks ago, one of the teachers at my school, at the school that I just left, she just came out and said she going back home. And I feel like if school would have been going as normal, she wouldn't have had that time to sit down and think it through and make that decision. I think with us having to be at home, it was time for her to decompress and really weigh it out. So, you know, what about you, Mr. Brown?
I don't agree with the sentiment that, you know, the internet school is going to change everything, because there's still you can still only teach so many kids effectively. And when you're not there with them, certain subjects, I can supervise 40 kids in a Zoom, but I can't effectively teach 40 kids, because unless you're going to pay me for the work it is, because essentially if I have you on the Zoom and we work out as a group and I get to work and I'm grading work, y'all know how it stack up. If we're grading work, you know, if you're
stack up quick.
I got 40 kids a class, so I got 3 classes, right, total? Because when you're grading 120, you know, I'm an AP teacher. So it's multiple choice, short answer, and essays. So I'm grading 120 students, 3 short answers, then I'm grading 120 essays. And these essays, depending on what we're doing, can be wildly different, and I'll be correct.
So you just gave me an idea for another episode, because I can show you a whole lot of sites that do the grading for you. Like even on the essays. Even on the essays, bro.
Even on essays?
Okay, then let me see that, because I need that. And that would be something that would have to be made available if you want teachers to be productive because
it don't give the full grade like word for word, but it's like the ones we used in college where you had to submit it online, and the professor could skim through really quick to make sure one, you didn't copyright and copy and paste, and that the basic stuff was there. They wasn't. Don't you think our college professors was grading all them essays?
They had
no, TAs. The TAs were.
You got to give effective feedback too.
That's why I don't believe that jobs would disappear. What they would end up doing is putting two of us over a set of kids, or they would give you a TA.
I definitely believe we need more co-teaching.
Bro,
I tried it, man. I tried it this year.
Co-teaching's fun.
And my principal she was not for it. They were they just weren't for it. But it was definitely effective because as my partner teacher stood in front of the class, I was already sitting next to the kids one-on-one. So as he's talking, as soon as they didn't get it, I'm already right there with them explaining, oh, this is what he just said. Instead of them having to wait till he finished talking and then completely forgetting, blacking out, losing it, they get it real time right then because I was the one walking around while he taught the lesson from an umbrella point of view. Like, it was great.
Yeah. Co-teaching is great. And that's what, see, the problem is we're looking at that and you're looking at it. And I know you're looking at what your American business mom, because that's what businesses do. They see opportunities to downsize and they downsize. They don't, but education isn't a business. So as soon as America stops looking at education like a business, like it's something that should turn profit, this is a zero-sum industry. Every dollar you put into it, you should expect it to be gone. You shouldn't be giving principals budgets and expect them to return parts of it. No, here's this money, burn it up.
That and that's money. That don't make the people money.
But education doesn't make money in making money. It makes money in creating people who are going to go make that money for you.
Right.
Think about it. As the American government, you want your constituents to have good jobs so you can tax them higher. Well, how do they get good jobs? Good education. So you burn this money up on the front end. You get it back. Think about it. You're in school 12 years. How many years are you going to work before you die?
40. Well, most poor people work 60 and 70. They don't stop working.
Even people who are affluent, even if they're not working, toiling with their hands, they reinvest money and you get money. They still reach that tax burden, right? And the tax burden is, I don't care if you go to work if I'm the government. I just want you to be at a certain tax bracket so I can get that money from you. So even if you're not actively working, people passively work literally until they die. So you telling me you don't want to make an investment for 12 years when the average life is 80 years? So you telling me you're going to get 58 years out the back, 68 years out the back? You can't see that? So that's a stupid mindset. Put the money in the front end. Invest in the front end because you always get it back. You always get it back. As long as you create people who are, productive and effective. To answer the question, what I'd be doing, well, if for some reason we got to look in the next one, well, I'm a scholar like you brothers. And, I learned in college that you got to have the multiple streams. So, I have a catering business. We're shut down for COVID right now. We're going to reopen. That's not happening because I think I'm going to lose my job because that's my second source of income. If I wasn't teaching, I'd still be teaching it. Just like you said, the vehicle would change. But I wouldn't mind being a corporate trainer, and especially with classroom knowledge.
That's teaching.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just they get paid better.
I think that genuinely shows our intentions, our hearts as, young Black men teachers. And so I think about that too. When we say, okay, is it time to look at something else? And we say, no, it's not. But what about the issue of parents not feeling comfortable with sending their kids back? So then what do we?
Hold up. Where the parent? Don't the parents got to go to work? So that's what somebody told me. That was like, parents got to go to work. So
disclaimer, parents, we are not daycare. Okay, I just had to say that.
Disclaimer, it's still a pandemic. I don't care if you got to go to work. I don't want to go to work with your sick kid or you going to work working with hundreds of people, then you going home, breathe on your kid breathe on me. I take COVID back to my son. I'm a parent too, but I'm looking at it like sometimes people, we got to look here, like worry about yourself. There's not a cure for this pandemic that everyone wants to act like ain't happening.
They show is protesting like it ain't no pandemic.
Y'all seen the numbers in Dallas, but they're protesting with masks on. See, I don't like that as an example because people are still protesting with masks on. And you're right, in the places they're not. Have you seen the spikes this week from the week?
Today, I think it said 250 some new cases today again.
So Dallas had gotten under 200. We were under 200 for about a week and a half. Then we crept back up to 2s, and now we're creeping back to 3s. But this is right in line when every phase where we've opened up more, and it's like, let's see what it's going to be in 7 to 10 days. 7 to 10 days, we've had things rise. So to act like that is not a part of the thought process, and I've seen some of the emails from the district, and I've tried to keep, I don't know where I'm going yet, so I'm still in communication with my old principal, and even she's like, yeah, I don't know about this fall. I'm like, what are they saying? They're like, well, it's a bunch of plans on the table. I was like, why? The science says clearly what we should be doing, and we should be putting everything towards that. But like you said, right, the parents got to go back to work. I mean, the kids got to go somewhere.
Kids got to go somewhere.
And that means we got to go up in there with them.
So what does the district do though? Like what? Because we need that money for attendance. That's where some of our salary comes from. What does the district do? If you could offer the district advice, what does the district do about parents saying, "Don't count my kid absent. I just don't feel safe bringing my kid back to your building yet"?
That is more of you got to deal with those situations, kind of like the kids that don't get vaccinated, right? You deal with those on a one-to-one. What needs to happen is states need to have real plans and real talks with themselves and be really honest. And because my thing is, what really should happen is we should start at home. And attendance is not an excuse. There are policies and practices you can put in to do, because think about it. It's not like someone comes to your class and takes attendance for you anyways. Who's taking your attendance? You are. You're the steward of your attendance. So if they give us guidelines that allow us to build our classrooms in a certain way, if you want them to log in every day, cool, log in every day. We took online classes in college. Most of them was like log on twice a week, drop the post, turn in your work is due at this time. That is viable in college, was it not viable in high school? My one thing about teaching in COVID, I was able to service students that I would have never been able to service because these kids had to work because their parents lost their jobs. And whether we went back to school or not, them parents was going to lose them jobs. And them kids would have not been in school. They'd have been working. And I had a set of kids that around midnight always turned work in.
Mm-hmm.
So I told them, if you need me, let's schedule it. You can't randomly call me or text me at 10, 11 o'clock at night. But I'm a night owl. So if you let me know, I'll put you on my calendar. I can have a night Zoom. And I had a night Zoom. My principal came to my night Zoom. And she was just amazed that it was kids in the night Zoom. She's like, you really doing class at this time? I'm like, it's online. Why not?
Now you're meeting the kids where they at.
I'm servicing the needs of the students I have. I'm not going to tell you not to go to work and make sure your family got lights and got food. I'm not going to do that. Because if you, I'll be out there.
See, now, so this makes me think with this, though. This makes me now think with this, though. Is this the new way the classrooms will look? Should it be a hybrid like this? And do y'all feel safe about going back to the building as well? So is this a new hybrid, and do y'all feel safe?
It definitely should be a hybrid. Definitely. It should have always, as soon as online became available, it should have been an option. Should have been an option for the kids who do better at home. For the kids that miss 60 days out of the year, but who still smart and who still get it, should have always been an option. But
responsibilities outside of school,
I would feel safe. If they have those hand sanitizer, them bins outside of everybody door, and if they limit the amount of kids in the classroom. If they say, like they said, 11 kids per class, and it's this amount of square feet, I'm cool with it. If we have to have on our mask, I'm cool with that. I'm fine with it. But having 30 kids in the class with me as a teacher, that could be an issue. And plus, if it's not as cleanly, it got to be more cleanly than it's been in the past.
Definitely. I'm gonna be honest. You asked me earlier what the plan was, and you know what? I actually have one. I heard rumblings of them doing like the A-Day, B-Day type deal, like having half the kids come one day, half the other. So in order to have the classroom sizes be a certain size, like you said, around 10 to 11 kids, socially distance them, distance me. And what I would do is I would still run an online class, and I would just be in there with them. So what I would do is so even if the kid is in the school with me that day or at home, we're all moving at the same speed. And I'm dropping video lessons, and it's online work. And just is on your day, if you're Monday, Wednesday, on your day, you can bring your questions to me. You can ask about, and I can facilitate things, because in the online class, the best thing to do is always have like multiple things going on at once. So kids just never not doing anything. So like, this is today's work. This is this long running project. Here's these writing assignments, maybe for extra credit. Maybe like you have to have a certain amount of them due next week. Like in 2 weeks, you need to do this amount of them. So if you need help on that, like you're like, okay, I'm cool on the reading. I'm cool on the video Mr. Brown did. I really need help on my writing. But it's Tuesday and I'm a Monday, Wednesday kid. So I'm going to work on this stuff today because I can handle it. But tomorrow when I'm with Mr. Brown, he going to help me with this writing, right? And then that way that'll allow me, hey, who needs help on the writing? Okay, y'all sit on this side of the room. Okay, hey, who need help with the reading that we're doing now? Okay, well, go ahead and try and start that. I'm going to holler at these writing people. I'm going to come over here for the reading, but you need to try at least. You having a problem with the video? Like, is it not working? You don't understand what I'm saying? Watch it again. I'm going to come to you last after I talk to them. So, boom, I've already set my class up. They already know what we need to do now for. Everyone has their work. The do now is the work now. The I do is the video. And then I have these other things where I'm getting these different skills from you. You're going to show me that you can read and comprehend and contextualize over here. In your writing, you're going to show me that now that you've contextualized this reading, okay, now come over here and verbalize it, write it down, answer these questions. And these are things that I'm able to do it. And in a smaller classroom, we can still do it. And what my goal would be to not to have to be here with the kid.
Well, see, I'm okay with that. I think it will require some training because I know for me, tech is not a problem, but for people on my team, tech was a huge deal. But I do like the A day, B day, someday on, someday off. I do like that so that you can keep that number count low and that you can still be effectively and work with kids who are there. But then I also think about, okay, you have this A day, B day type thing. You have kids who are there and some who are at home. I have this issue of the ones that are at home, right? If we can set up an interactive type thing to where they can, like something like a Nearpod, but a Nearpod 2.0.
They got Flipgrid.
Okay, and see, that's something I need to check into. I think this would be great. But we running low on time. You
can use Zoom, in all honesty.
Right, we running low on time.
Zoom them kids in.
Zoom them on the TV.
That we pick up in season 3 if we get there. I'm your host once again, Mr. M. Thank you, Mr. McMillan, Mr. Brown, for y'all coming through today. We're doing what we do. We just might get fired. But we did not get fired today. We'll see you in the next one.